Have you ever looked at your smartphone and wondered, what will people 1,000 years from now think of this? Will they see it as a primitive relic? It's a fun thought, but what if I told you that people from thousands of years ago created things that still baffle us today? Things that seem like they were plucked right out of a science fiction movie. Today, we read diving deep into the past to uncover the weirdest and most mind-blowing ancient inventions that were light years ahead of their time. Get ready, because history is way stranger than you think. Let's start our journey in ancient Greece, around 150 BC. Imagine a world without computers, without even a basic calculator. Now, picture this. A device no bigger than a shoebox, filled with at least 30 complex interlocking bronze gears. This isn't a prop from a steampunk novel. This is the Antikythera mechanism. Discovered in a shipwreck in 1901, this incredible artifact has been dubbed the world's first analog computer. For decades, scientists were stumped. What was this thing? After years of X-rays and advanced scanning, they figured it out. The Antikythera mechanism was an astonishingly accurate astronomical calculator. It could predict the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, track the lunar calendar, and even forecast eclipses decades in advance. Think about the level of mechanical and astronomical knowledge required to build this. That's a level of sophistication that wouldn't be seen again in Europe for over 1,000 years. It completely rewrites what we thought ancient people were capable of. How did they do it? And more importantly, was this a one-of-a-kind marvel, or are there other similar devices still lost to the sea? Now, let's fast forward a few centuries and travel east to ancient China. During the Han Dynasty around 132 AD, an earthquake strikes. Panic ensues. But what if you had a device that could tell you not only that an earthquake had happened, but also the direction it came from, even from hundreds of miles away? Meet the world's first seismoscope, invented by the brilliant Zhang Heng. This device was a magnificent bronze vessel, about 6 feet in diameter, with 8 dragon heads arranged around its rim. Each dragon held a small bronze ball in its mouth. Below the dragons sat 8 bronze toads with their mouths wide open. When an earthquake occurred, even a tremor too faint to be felt, an internal pendulum mechanism would swing. This would trigger one of the dragons to release its ball, which would then fall perfectly into the mouth of the toad below it. The dragon that dropped the ball indicated the direction of the earthquake's epicenter. According to historical records, the device was incredibly accurate. On one occasion, a dragon dropped a ball, but no one nearby felt a thing. Days later, a messenger arrived with news of a major earthquake that had occurred in a province hundreds of miles away, in the exact direction the seismoscope had indicated. It's an absolute masterpiece of engineering that predates modern seismographs by nearly 1,700 years. Okay, let's stay in the ancient world, but shift our focus to something a bit more electrifying. Imagine you're an archaeologist digging in the ruins of a village near Baghdad, Iraq. You unearth a small, unassuming clay pot about 5 inches tall. Inside, you find a copper cylinder, and inside that, an iron rod. At first, you might dismiss it. But what if I told you this humble pot might be a 2,000-year-old battery? This is the controversial Baghdad battery. When filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or grape juice, this simple setup can generate a small but definite electrical charge, about 1 volt. So, the big question is, what were they using it for? Some scholars speculate it was used for electroplating, applying a thin layer of gold or silver onto other metals. Others suggest it was used in healing rituals, providing a gentle, tingling electrical shock to patients. Of course, some archaeologists argue it was just a storage vessel for sacred scrolls. But if it was a battery, it means that ancient Parthians might have harnessed electricity 2 millennia before Alessandro Volta invented the modern battery. It's a tantalizing what-if that challenges our entire timeline of technological discovery. Let's head back to Europe, to the Roman Empire. The Romans were legendary engineers, famous for their aqueducts, roads, and massive structures like the Colosseum. But one of their most impressive and enduring inventions is something we use every single day: concrete. But this wasn't just any concrete. Roman concrete was a special mix of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. And here's the crazy part. It's actually better than the concrete we use today. Modern concrete structures degrade over time, especially when exposed to water, and might only last for about 50 to 100 years. But Roman piers, seawalls, and harbors have stood for over 2,000 years, battered by waves and the elements, and in many cases they've actually gotten stronger over time. How is that possible? Scientists recently discovered that when seawater filters through the Roman concrete, it reacts with the volcanic ash, causing new, interlocking mineral crystals to grow. This process essentially heals any micro cracks that form, making the material more resilient. The Romans created self-healing concrete 2,000 years ago. Engineers today are studying this ancient recipe, hoping to replicate it and create more sustainable, long-lasting structures for the future. It's a perfect example of looking to the past to build a better future. Now for an invention that's both beautiful and deadly. Picture a medieval battlefield. In the distance, you see a warrior wielding a sword. But this isn't just any sword. It's a blade with a mesmerizing, watery pattern swirling across its surface. A blade so sharp it could supposedly slice through a falling silk scarf, and so strong it could cleave through lesser swords and armor without dulling. This is the legendary Damascus steel. Originating in the Middle East around 300 BC, the exact recipe for this super steel was a closely guarded secret. For centuries, these blades were the most sought-after weapons in the world. The secret wasn't just in the forging technique. It was in the raw material itself, a type of steel ingot from India known as wootz steel, which had a high carbon content. Modern scientists, using electron microscopes, have discovered that the incredible properties of Damascus steel come from carbon nanotubes and nanowires that formed during the forging process. That's right nanotechnology. The ancient swordsmiths had, through trial and error over generations, figured out a process that manipulated the steel at a molecular level, something our own science has only begun to understand in the last few decades. Sadly, the specific recipe and technique for creating true Damascus steel were lost sometime around the 18th century. We can make replicas, but the original secret died with the last of the master smiths. From incredible computers to self-healing concrete and nanotech swords, the ancient world was full of geniuses and visionaries whose creations continued to defy our expectations. These inventions aren't just historical curiosities. They are a powerful reminder that ingenuity is not exclusive to the modern age. They show us that with creativity and persistence, humanity has always been capable of achieving the seemingly impossible. It makes you wonder, what other incredible secrets are still buried beneath the sand, waiting to be rediscovered? What else have we forgotten? The past is a treasure trove, and we've only just scratched the surface. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time. I hope you found these ancient inventions as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the mysteries of history. Let me know in the comments which of these inventions blew your mind the most. Until next time, stay curious.